Without question, some people watching will immediately recognize this game and this song. On the screen right now is Oldschool Runescape with one of its most popular songs, Sea Shanty 2, playing in the background. Oldschool Runescape is an MMORPG developed and published by Jagex. The game was first released on the 22nd of February 2013. When it launched, it wasn't originally an exact copy of Runescape as it was in August 2007. However, it has gotten many updates since. Inside the game, you can do various activities that are quite standard to most MMORPGs. Fighting monsters to get their loot, crafting your own armor, you can do quests and mini games, there's tons of skills to train, you can talk to other people, fight with them or against them, and of course there's trading with other players as well. This last one, trading, is important to this video. There are three main ways of trading inside the game. 1. You can directly trade other players, which opens up a special trading interface. 2. You can buy and sell items on the Grand Exchange. The Grand Exchange is a giant marketplace where you can list items for sale or buy items that others have listed for sale. 3. You can drop items on the ground, allowing others to pick it up after some time passes. What would happen if you take all this trading away? Well, on October 2014, Jagex released the Ironman Mode, which did exactly this and more. Ironman Mode is an alternative way to play the game, which takes away all economic interactions with other players. There is no trading, no use of the Grand Exchange, and you can't pick up loot dropped by other players. You can't even buy stuff from the in-game store that other players might have sold to. Monsters that have been damaged by other players will no longer drop loot for you when you play the Ironman Mode. Now, you can still talk to others, and there are various multiplayer activities like fighting raid bosses and doing mini-games together in which the player can take part. But essentially, the Ironman Mode takes away a huge multiplayer part from a massively multiplayer game. You don't get better chances at loot or gain experience faster in this game mode. There are no real benefits to being an Ironman. So why would you want to play this game mode? Why limit yourself to a more single player oriented playstyle in a multiplayer game? The answer consists of multiple parts. There are actually appealing factors to playing an Ironman. First of all, mundane tasks can become a challenge again. This is probably best demonstrated by an example. One of the quests in the game requires you to obtain a mithril axe. Normally, you can simply walk up to the Grand Exchange, buy it for a small amount of gold, and there you have it, you're done. As an Ironman, obtaining the same mithril axe becomes a lot more difficult. There are multiple ways of obtaining an axe without trading. For example, you can make your own using the smithing skill, and the axe has a chance to drop from certain monsters. Or you can actually buy it from an NPC, but you can only buy it from that NPC after you've gained entry to the woodcutting guild, in which the shop is located. A task that would only require a few minutes normally can now take up to multiple hours. Secondly, Ironman Mode forces you to do certain content for you to get certain items that are actually linked to that content. In Oldschool Runescape, many of the weapons and armor can be traded. Unlike plenty other MMOs, this also goes for the very high value items that require like difficult combat challenges or other challenges to obtain them. For example, the Crazy Rapier is a weapon that is dropped from the Theater of Blood, which is a skill-intensive raid in Oldschool Runescape. As of making this video, its estimated price on the Grand Exchange is about 188 million gold. This means that for a normal account, it is possible to buy a weapon with one of, if not the highest output of damage in the entire game, without setting a single foot in that raid. Even without ever killing a single monster, you can make enough money to buy your weapons and armor. Now, 188 million gold is a lot of money, and this is a very extreme example. However, the same goes for many very strong items that are a lot lower in price. As an Ironman, if you want that one piece of loot, if you want that one weapon, that one piece of armor, you are going to have to do the content that is related to that weapon or to that armor until you've actually earned it. Thirdly, playing this challenge mode makes room for massive bragging rights. Oh, you completed that difficult quest? Well, I did it as an Ironman. You killed that dangerous boss? Well, so did I, and I'm an Ironman by the way. You've maxed out all your skills? Well, I did it as an Ironman. Players are proud of their achievements and they like to show it. The game allows you to show it by putting a little Ironman icon next to your name whenever you talk in the chat. On top of that, many Ironman have chosen usernames to show that they're playing an Ironman. There is even this meme in the community where Ironman always take every opportunity to show off their Ironman status, basically making them the vegans of RuneScape. They might be annoying to some other players, but who doesn't like showing off their achievements? These 3 points are in my opinion some of the appealing factors to the alternative Ironman game mode. If you're a RuneScape player watching this video, you've probably been thinking, aren't you forgetting something? And yes, before I continue to the final point, I must address something. There is more than only the normal Ironman mode. In fact, this is only one of the 3 possible Ironman modes that Jagex has implemented. The following modes exist. 1. There's the normal Ironman mode as discussed at the beginning of this video. 2. There is the hardcore Ironman mode, which is the same as the normal Ironman mode, but on top of that you only get 1 life. If you die once inside the game, you lose your hardcore status and you become a normal Ironman mode. 3. The ultimate Ironman, which is the same as the normal Ironman mode, but on top of that you can't use the in-game bank, which heavily limits the amount of items a player can have at the same time. There is a 4th type of Ironman, which isn't an actually official game mode released by Jagex. Actually, it's something that the players have come up with themselves, but it's still something I want to mention. The area restricted Ironman. After playing the normal Ironman mode, some players have decided to up the ante and lock themselves to only a small part of the playable map on top of the normal Ironman restrictions. These Ironman, further limiting their accounts, have gained massive popularity in the RuneScape community. I mention it because my last point is directly related to these Ironman, as they are a great example to what I think is one of the most charming factors to playing an account with restrictions. Playing the game with restrictions, whether they are baked into your account or you've made them up yourself, allows you to break away from the default or expected way of playing the game. You are writing your own story. You, as the player, can feel unique again. Internet guides that tell you how to play the game efficiently or how to min-max your character are not really relevant to you. The way you approach the game is up to you, which is something that seems to get lost nowadays with all the information available for basically everything. I think this goes for RuneScape but also a lot of other games. And whether it is the fastest way of getting higher levels or getting the best items, who cares? You get to explore the world at your own pace and see things you might have missed if you were playing an unrestricted account and following all these super efficient guides. In the end, you are in control, you are forging your own path. The various Ironman modes in Oldschool RuneScape are pretty cool, but this video isn't supposed to be some advertisement for RuneScape or me saying it's all perfect. Ironman mode definitely has its flaws, which I didn't talk about in this video. For example, an Ironman is way more susceptible to getting griefed by other players. Also, the restrictions can make certain tasks more tedious rather than challenging, and whether you experience something as very tedious or actually challenging will highly depend on the player, him or herself. And on top of that, gem flags has their own way of messing up the game. Nonetheless, Ironman are now a staple in the RuneScape community and game. Many players are enjoying it and therefore I would argue it is a success. And there you have it. That's how Jagex has added to their game by taking away from it. If you stuck around to the end of the video, I would like to thank you for watching first of all, and please like, subscribe, follow me on MySpace, and give your mother a hug. All these things YouTubers tell you to do at the end of the video. My expectations for this video are rather low. I don't know if anyone really likes this type of content, but I will make more of it in the future, and the next video is likely gonna be on something like Cuphead or Rocket League or maybe World of Warcraft, depending on what I like. I have lots of ideas around, so I'll see you around. Goodbye.